a new epidemic happening with men, and I really want to talk about it because I just can't believe we're really having to come to this point, okay?
This video is going to go by really fast. Please try your best to keep up. Viewer discretion is advised.
Doesn't matter if I'm walking through a door, through an elevator, name any rectangular box that humans have to walk through, okay, to enter or exit somewhere. Men are just shoving their way in front of me every time. For example, I'm in the elevator, okay? There's two men, one on each side, all right? It's happened twice, might I add. And we get down to the lobby, right? Okay, the door's open. I'm in the middle, and I'm the only girl. So I'm like, surely I get to go first, right? No. This man literally takes his shoulder and shoves me out of the way to exit first. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe he has somewhere to be, even though he's not at a brisk pace. He's not like trying to really get out of there. It just was like his time to get out. I was like, okay, you know what? Fine. As I start to take my step, I'm like, I'll be the second one out, right? The other man also taking the shoulder, going around town, right, to get in front of me to also get out of the elevator. It's like...
Yeah, I know she lying, right? I know it's a lie. Like, I really hope y'all know it's a lie, because you really believe that story? 3 people in the elevator and people are shoving her out of the way to get out and they're not in a rush? That makes sense to y'all? Let alone it's 2 men, one on each side of her. She's the one directly in front of the door, and they mushed her or shoved her to the back to get out before her. That's the story. Which in turn says y'all all was standing shoulder to shoulder in an elevator? That is so unnatural. People don't stand shoulder to shoulder in the elevator unless they're forced to. If it's just the 3 of y'all and you're in the middle directly in front of the door, typically you would just move closer to the door. You don't stand shoulder to shoulder with complete strangers. Ladies, I'm not gonna lie. I had high expectations. Ain't nobody touched that girl in any way, shape, or form. She's lying. And it's clear as day. I know it's the beginning of the month. Rent is due. So y'all trying to do whatever y'all can to get these views up on the videos and whatnot. But bro, take it easy, okay? Relax.
There's gonna be men in these comment section going, well, that's what happens when you ladies want equal rights. So what does this have to do with equal rights? What happened to just being polite? Would you want some man to shove your own mother out of the way? What?
See what I mean? See what I mean, right? I'm telling y'all that she's lying. And I know there are no men talking about, oh, that's equal rights. That has nothing to do with equal rights. If anything, those men are just trolling you because they know you're lying. You think because you sped up your video, slowed it down to add emphasis to certain words, and then added your own set of energy behind it, you thought we was going to believe you because of that? Nah, we still don't believe your lying ass. Boy, I tell you, I'm getting so desperate, man. It's getting so sad to see this. But you know what? I know they ain't going to listen to I'm saying, because I'm just a normal guy. Yeah, keep the change.
These young ladies are asking our sons for money. And as a boy mom, they used to really grind my gears because this little girl sent my son $100 Temu request. First of all, I didn't even know you could do that. Thank you. Also, terrible discernment, bad management. My son not even dropping the fries and he doesn't have a license. He was 15 years old, girl. Now you, I feel like you asking me for money because where he going to get it from? He ain't selling no drugs, is he? Have you seen Malcolm X, young lady? Huh? Have you? Do you know what happens to you when you put your hands in somebody else's pocket? These young...
So, listen, are you surprised by this? Are you surprised? Check it out right there. The caption says, boy, mom problems. Boy, mom problems in a modern world in 2026, just the beginning of the year. So what's happening in 2026? Well, I think a comment said it best when they said they're being programmed. This one right here. She says they're being programmed. By who? By TikTok. Of course they're seeing the messages, right? The messages of women encouraging other women and also the young women, because they forget the young ones are also online, encouraging them to ask men for money. And this is something I actually think about a lot when I make this type of videos. I know on the other end of the screen, it's not just men like myself who see those type of videos, but it's also younger boys who are like, okay, so I need to get money and I don't have any. And the younger girls are thinking, well, why don't I ask the boys who like me for money? Because that's what these other women are saying I should do. They're not saying, don't have kids outside of wedlock. Maybe that's becoming more of a popular thing now. For a long time, that wasn't the focus, right? It wasn't about responsibility, doing better. And yes, the boys need these type of messages too. But of course, they're learning this from TikTok. You want a society where young women believe that the most important thing a man can provide for you is money. Then you want to be surprised when all of a sudden a Diddy pops in who has all the money and now believes now that he's won the game and acquired all the success, all the power, he now can have his way. This is one of the points I made during the whole Diddy situation. I believe Diddy is a sick man. I've said this plenty of times. I don't take it back. I believe he is. However, I also think that society encourages those type of men to pretty much know that once they get to where he's at or where he was at or that level of success, then there are women out here who do whatever he wants them to.
I do believe that I'm a 10 wholeheartedly, because why would I downgrade myself? And all of you ladies should think that you're a 10.
Do you think all women should view themselves as a 10?
I do. I do think all women should have that confidence.
Do you agree with her, other 10?
Yes, if they actually work on themselves.
So all women are 10s?
I think so. Because we're all
Are all men
amazing.
10s?
I think in their own way, all men can be 10s, yeah.
How come you're willing to give women the like, yes, girls slay, you're all 10s, the confidence, but for men, you're like, maybe they can reach 10 level.
Because I love women and I want to support women.
So men don't need support?
Men do need support. I never said that.
But
Men is great.
she does point something out where you were quicker to say, yes, all women are 10s, but there seemed to be hesitation when we were trying to do the same appraisal of men.
Just because I don't find every man attractive, right?
You find all women attractive?
I find a lot of women, most women attractive, yeah.
Women are purposely staying single because men aren't men anymore. So let's take some time to unpack this. Because the men that we were too insensitive, we were too sexist, we were too emotionally unavailable, we were too dangerous. But now that we're trying to grow and see ourselves beyond the identities of provider and protector, somehow we're not real men anymore. What is it that those same men that we've been trying to get away from, that you've been asking us to stop being, what is the difference between them and who we are today? Because we're starting to communicate a whole lot more. We're starting to practice emotional intelligence. And you know what's funny? As soon as we started talking and speaking far more honestly about how we feel, specifically about women, that's when the problem started. What men are expressing today is no different than what the men before us were feeling but never said. From what I'm gathering, as long as we kept it to ourselves, as long as we stayed quiet, everything was fine. I mean, it almost feels like another version of shut up and dribble. If my emotions don't matter unless you agree with them, you really don't value my emotions. There's no benefit to me being open and honest with you if every time that I open up, I'm gonna get punished for it. But let's keep the ball rolling. What if it's about money? Men are more comfortable having the 50-50 conversation than they used to be when it came to traditional roles. But I feel like we should understand by now that this economy demands a dual income household. So are we not real men because we don't want to shoulder the weight of all the finances in the relationship? Because if that's the case, what was the fight for when it came to equality and breaking the glass ceiling? I'll wrap it up like this. Don't try to say we're not real men because you don't benefit from us like you used to. If you don't want the men that we were, you also reject what men like that provided. Men aren't customizable. You don't get to pick and choose what we are and what you get. Women have to give men the opportunity to, one, be themselves, but two, they have to give themselves the opportunity to get to know the men that they ask for.
Why protect if the women don't even have your back? The women don't even have your back. And I've heard this from guys where they would say they would protect a woman from her boyfriend that's beating her. Then the boyfriend would beat them up and then the woman would still go home with the boyfriend. They're like, nope. I am not dealing with this. Max Count says, and people wonder why nobody wants to help anymore. Yeah. You would think you would at least get like honor. I don't want to hear from you women about not getting protection and that the men aren't traditional enough anymore. When this is our reward for traditionalism. This is our reward for traditionalism. When you punish traditionalism, don't be mad that men don't do it. And we've had the talk that the majority of women today do not deserve chivalry. A woman that is ungrateful for chivalry does not deserve it. And there used to be a time where men would actually get something in return for chivalry. They would get a pure wife. They would get a wife that was in shape, and they would get a wife that respects and honors them. And that was the cultural norm. But now the cultural norm is you can't tell me anything. I'll do what I want and nobody can tell me I'm wrong.
Many women want to be promiscuous. I actually think it's important for us women to know this because there's men that will lie to you and men that will be honest with you. In their eyes, women are these angelic creatures that always want marriage, family, and relationships. But the experience of men that date women between 18 to 25, let's say, is that many women want to be promiscuous. If you go to a high-end salon...
And the guy was talking about what it means to be a real man. And one of the things he talked about was, one of the reasons, it's like, are we not real men because we don't want to shoulder the weight anymore? Well, it's a plethora of things. It really isn't one thing, right? Yes, we want you to pay the bills, but you could be paying the bills. You could look great. But as somebody said, modern women are so emotionally unregulated. I actually heard that term. Somebody said that. It was a woman said that just recently. Oh, I'm emotionally unregulated. Thank you for telling me. We know that as a man. We already know that. I'm emotionally unregulated, right? So I want money today, but tomorrow money can't buy me love. So I want a whole bunch of flowers. But tomorrow, why you buy me so many flowers? And not one of these flowers is my favorite. You don't actually know me. If you'd have known me, you'd have known this flower is my favorite. So I'll go and get those flowers for you. You just did it because I told you. Because I said, this is my favorite flower. I mean, yes, because I didn't know what your favorite flower was. Because you said you liked lilies. So I went and got you lilies. But, you got too much. Right. But, okay. Anyways, you said you like lilies. I got you lilies. You didn't want those. So I went and got you roses. Now you're telling me I only got you roses because you said to get you roses. So it really wasn't anything that I did. It was you telling me what you wanted me to do. Okay. So next time I just take initiative. I took initiative. I got every flower in the store. You just guessing. You don't really know me. Man. I walked in the store myself. I went and picked something that I thought you would like. And the florist there with me, she said, there's a lot of women there it is right there. Most women like it. It's just a whole bunch of stupid stuff. So it's not just money. It depends on how the woman feels at that point in time. Because she's going to give you trouble.
Whenever women come online and complain about the level of attractiveness of the men that they themselves are attracting, I automatically assume it's rage bait. Because there's no way you lack that much self-awareness to think that you are so grand and above and beyond these petty little men that try and speak to you on a daily basis. Most men shoot where they think they're gonna score. Let's start there. So if a man is a 5, he's probably going to shoot for other 5s, 6s, 4s, maybe a 7 if he's feeling lucky. Most 5s are not going to shoot for 10s unless they feel like shooting for the moon one day. But on a day-to-day, most men are shooting where they think they're going to score. And yes, he looked at you and said, yeah, that girl's probably on my level. She might say yes to me. And if that offends you, feel free to look in the mirror and change some things. And we have to remember that we are not the ones that set our place in the dating market. We have this idea that we are all 10s out of 10s because I said I'm a 10, so I'm a 10. And that's not up to you. It's actually up to the men. And feel free to ask one to see where you rank, because those ones that are coming online and just asking random men, they are getting comments filled with things that are going to make them very insecure in the future. And I don't wish that on my worst enemy. So ask a trusted male friend, would you?
Do you guys sometimes wonder, where are the men? Where are the strong men? Where are those men that are really just strong?
Yeah.
Where are the strong men of God? Where are you? I feel for women right now.
Yeah.
I feel like there's this, we've got to be in the end times.
No, that's what it is.
That's what it is, right?
Yes.
Because I'm looking around and I'm like, this can't be, right?
There really are great men out there.
There's such good men.
I know there is.
Yeah, there's great men.
I've met them. We've met them. We know them.
We do.
It's so funny. And are there any girls like me? I'm such a hopeless romantic. There's really nothing that can happen that gets me to give up on love.
No.
I love love.
As soon as a woman calls herself independent, that's a red flag to me. We don't like independent women. We do like self-sufficient women, But there's a major difference between the two. We don't mind self-sufficiency. A woman that has her own career, her own place, cars, money, businesses, we don't mind that. But the minute you start to idolize your independence is where we see red flags, because there's a certain spirit that comes along with that. It's the I don't need anybody paradigm. Let's flip it. How would women feel if they met a man and every time he spoke, he sounded like, I pay my own bills and they're all in my name. I live on my own. I don't need nobody. She'd probably say like, bro, you're an adult. You're supposed to do that. Like, are you good? Like, is there a chip on your shoulder? Like, but even deeper to the point, I'll never make my woman feel like I don't need her. Can you imagine how I would look to a woman who liked me if I walked around shouting how independent I am or how I don't need anybody? Like, imagine how that would make her feel. Nah. I'm waking up every day and reassuring her that I want her, I desire her, and I need her. I'm not a weak man for admitting I need my woman. But I'm worried that some women are so attached to that independent teaching that they're going to independent themselves right into a lonely life. Or worse, form an attachment but still perceive the relationship through an independent field of view.
The future is looking very doomy and gloomy, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Now, we just had a dope discussion highlighting how a lot of the older men are opting out of dating and choosing to be single. But what about the young men out here? I'm starting to see a lot of the young men that are on the right path even say, I'm done with relationships. I'm done with trying to pursue something solid and secure with a woman. Like, that is so terribly bad. Because these are the young men that we need to help build the future generations to come. These are the young men who would make great husbands, great fathers, so on and so forth, that are like, nah, I'm good. I'm cool. I've seen too much. A lot of them themselves have even been through too much. And that just breaks my heart. And here's the thing. Y'all like the video, share the video, and subscribe. I gotta say this. Here's the thing. Ladies, there is something very telling about our behaviors and the things that we have done to these men, to where we are starting to see a lot of the young men and men in general that we actually need turn their backs. The men who not too long ago would take a chance on you. They were the ones giving you the benefit of the doubt and saying, you know what? Let me try to show you better. Let me try to give you better. And maybe that will help you out to maybe inspire you to change. But that's not happening anymore.
I'm 31 years old, single, and I'm not on dating apps. And over the weekend, I had a girl ask me, well, where are you going to meet men? And I said, I'm not going anywhere to meet men, meaning I'm not leaving my house and deciding where I'm going and what I'm doing based on if I'm going to meet men there or not. However, with that being said, I then told her my list of places I go and I have gone where I've had success meeting men. So I'm going to tell you. Number one is the gym. And ladies, I hate to say this to you, you're not going to meet men in Pilates. You're going to have to either go lift weights or do some boot camp related or run clubs. That's another great one. Another great place to meet men is events, sporting events, concerts, any sort of events, even the rodeo. There are even rodeos here in New Jersey. Events, amazing. Another one, hobbies. Get into hobbies that you actually enjoy, because if you meet someone doing it, that means they like the hobby that you enjoy too. And that's an automatic connection. So like pickleball, for me, it's golf. In general, I try to avoid meeting people in nighttime settings where there's alcohol involved. I would much rather meet someone during the day where no one's drinking and we're doing healthy activities. So those are all the places that I've had success meeting men. But ladies, for the love of God, please do not leave your house thinking to yourself, where should I go today to meet a man? No, we're leaving our house thinking to ourselves, where do I want to go today? Because that's something that I want to do and where I want to go. And you know what will happen? If you end up meeting someone there, it's just because you're doing something that you enjoy and you want to do, and you're already going to be in alignment naturally with that person.
If women can their children, men should at least be able to abandon their children.
And they do on the reg.
So if you're a man and you don't want to have a kid and the woman keeps the kid, that woman can force you through the state, through the government, to pay child support.
Well, nobody
If
forced
he
them
has
to
lard-
come inside of a woman.
Great. That's a great Bronze Age argument that we could use against men. Nobody forced the woman to have consensual sex. Nobody forced the woman to allow the man to come inside of her. These same arguments would have to be, you'd have to accept them for. Or is it only men that have responsibility? You wouldn't accept a pro-life argument of, you just shouldn't have opened your legs. You shouldn't have got pregnant. You should have used protection. You should have been on birth control. No, you probably believe that if a woman, let's say she had consensual sex with her boyfriend and she got pregnant, let's say it's an unwanted pregnancy, and let's say she's not ready or she's not financially ready, she just doesn't want the kid. I'm assuming your position would be, yeah, she can get them.
Yeah, it's her body.
Okay, so why don't you grant that same exemption to men?
I don't know if it was the Epstein files or my dating experiences in Melbourne, but my opinion of men is so low lately. Don't get me wrong, I know there is good men out there. But I don't feel 100% safe around straight male strangers. And I did not have this thing in my early 20s. This is a learned behaviour that I've picked up to protect myself. Because I am a naturally friendly person, and I think men take that and they run with it. Take, for example, the time that I had a short, small talky conversation in my kitchen with a guy who was staying the night because a friend had said he could stay the night. And that night he tried to come into my room multiple times to the point where I had to attack him and tell his girlfriend about him. And he accused me of being crazy. And if I didn't have the text messages of him drunk texting me and being like, can you let me in the door and all this, and me blocking him, then people might have actually believed him. And it's kind of sad because now I look at every guy and I'm like, oh, you're not just being friendly to me, you have an agenda. Like today in work, this Irish guy was chatting to me a lot. I thought he was safe because he was much older than me. I'm guessing like late 40s. And he mentioned about having 2 kids. But then as soon as he mentioned being separated from his partner, the alarm bells started to go off. The saxophones were playing in my head. And realistically, I knew nothing bad was going to happen. But I was just like, I'm going to have to like peel myself away from the conversation a bit and like not be giving him any more green lights than he really needs. Then because I have this men are trash lens on the world, I wonder, am I going to just be single forever? I've kind of come to terms with the fact that I might be, and I'm not actually that mad about it.
You know what women defining exactly who they don't like tells me is they know what language they're using. Heterosexual white men that, so you know how to stop talking stupid. You just don't want to. Well, all men this, so you know to stop talking stupid, but you continue to do it anyway. And this is what we come to, and this is the problem that we're running into over and over again with these modern women. One thing that Danica Marie was saying was, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Actually, you're not the bearer of bad news. Modern women are. Modern women with their attitudes, they're the bearer of bad news with their stupidity. And we see it on full display over and over again. Too many clips. Where do I meet men? Well, you meet them over here. You do this. You got to be doing this, this, this. My God, who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that one of the things, one of the clips was saying, well, you know, you got to go to the gym. You're not going to meet them in Pilates class. You got to go to the gym and you have to meet them where they are. So you have to invade the space where a man is to get a man's attention. Who would have thunk? Men would have thunk. And guess who told you that? Men did. So you're not the bearer of bad news. Bad news was somewhere out in the field playing around. But women went and chased it down and said, my life is terrible. My life is horrible. Somebody come please save me. You bought the bad news on yourself. I can't find a good man. They're in the gym. They're at these events. Well, I don't want to talk to them. As a matter of fact, I want them to come where I am. They're not. You told them you didn't want them there. Period. End of story. Well, you know, I don't want this type of male. I want this male that does this, this, and this. Oh, so like I said, you know how to whittle it down when you want to. You know how to vet a man, but you just don't want to. Well, I'm trying to get close to this man that makes $1 million, even if there's a little toxicity, even if he has bad behavior, even if he's doing things that he's not supposed to be doing. I still want to kind of get this man. So once again, nobody is bringing bad news and bad vibes and things to modern women. They're bringing it on themselves by acting stupid out here, by thinking everything is about them and that men are going to continue to approach them even when they're acting stupid. You did it to yourself.
A lot of women date guys who don't have as much as them because they can be lazy. They can mistreat a guy. They can do whatever they want to do, and they can be the person that they are because they know that guy won't go anywhere because he can't go anywhere. And they do underhanded things to keep this guy boxed in. They drain you so much with drama. They drain you so much with gaslighting and nitpicking so that you don't even have the energy to get anywhere else financially. You understand what I'm saying? And then also women, a lot of the times the apartment being their name. And so every time you get into it, they kicking you out. They throwing you outside. They putting you out the car, all type of just damaging you emotionally. You see what I'm saying? And again, this one only goes for men who don't really have to together. That's why it's important that you have your together, so you don't have to deal with like this.
In your opinion, why do nice guys finish last?
They too nice. They don't know what they're doing. They too gentle.
Why do girls complain that chivalry's but nice guys finish last?
You asking too many questions. I don't know all that. I don't know.
We just trying to figure out y'all, because we just confused at this point.
If you want to be honest, they be confused too. 1 minute we feel one thing, the next minute we feel another thing. We confused too. Ain't no answer.
At least you're honest. Do you like a nice guy or do you like a...
It depends. You could be, I like a fun.
So someone that'll playfully make fun of you, type shit?
Yeah, but I don't like too much of a nice guy because I'll feel like you're a bitch.
God damn.
So, it's like a happy medium.
Camera, I'm right here. You are a you was born to.
This video is specifically for the single ladies who meet a guy. The guy asks you out. He plans the date. The day before the date, you don't hear anything. The day of the date, you're concerned. What do? What you do is, A, you don't reach out to him under any circumstance whatsoever. If he wanted to, he would. He planned the date. He's pursuit of you, according to him. He wants to date you. He plans the day, the date, the time. Then he goes on purpose the day before or the day of. Doesn't matter. All you need to do is make sure your roster is stacked. This is why I have a roster. So if he planned your date, which you shouldn't be on a dinner date at all, however, you don't listen. Well, because you set up that dinner date at 6, let's just give him a grace period. Let's give him an hour to an hour and a half. So when he doesn't reach out that day of that date, you can move the next man in line up in your roster and you can move him from 7:30 to 6 p.m. Easy breezy. You can also do this during your breakfast, lunch, and brunch dates too. Therefore, you don't feel like you're getting the short end of the stick because you didn't put all your eggs in one basket. However, if you choose to continue to put all of your eggs in one basket, then there is a chance that he will plan a date, cancel it, not show up, disappear for a little while, then pop his little head back up the following day, acting like nothing happened or acting like his bird got ran over by a truck. Don't know. But block him, and it doesn't even matter. Now, does it? On to the next guy on your roster. Say it with me. On to the next guy on my roster. It's Coach B. Wiley.
If a man should provide, protect, and lead, what should a woman do? Because I hear this list every single day. Provide, protect, lead. And I agree with it. A man should absolutely do those things. But every time I ask the other question, the room goes quiet. It's like it's offensive to even bring it up. We've created a culture where a man's role has a job description, but a woman's role is just be yourself. That's not how relationships work. If one person has expectations and the other one has options, that's not a relationship. That's an audition where only one person is truly performing. And I'm not saying a woman should serve like a servant. That's not what this is. I'm saying if you expect a man to lead, you got to be willing to follow. If you expect him to provide, you got to be willing to build an environment worth providing for. If you expect him to protect, you got to be willing to not put him in positions where he has to protect you from yourself. In a relationship, both sides has terms. And somewhere along the way, we started holding men accountable to their side of the deal while telling women their side is optional. That's not equality. That's entitlement with the filter on. Good man does not want a woman who does nothing. He wants a woman who matches his effort in her own lane. He leads, she nurtures. He provides, she manages. He protects, she respects. That's not old-fashioned. That's functional.
Saying that men are choosing not to approach women is a real disrespect to what's happening right now in the actual world of reality. It's like saying to a man, you just didn't put your hand on the stove because you chose not to. Do you understand that the nervous system can only handle so much pain before it finally goes, okay, stop, we've done all we can, we're not going to let you do this anymore? Right now, approaching women for a lot of men just doesn't make any sense. Whatever the rules used to be, they didn't get the update. They didn't get Memo 6.0. And now everything they're doing continues to get worse and worse. Just understand, it's by and large not a lack of desire. It's just a defense mechanism at this point. It isn't choice. It's self-preservation. And then all the other excuses come out to make that choice seem a little bit more digestible. Go in the description, write the word upgrade. I have something free for you. If you're a single man and you're sick of it, I got somewhere where you could get started, and I hope it helps.
Do not marry someone that cannot give you the lifestyle that realistically you want. Especially if you want to have children, really think about the kind of life you want to give your children. If you marry a guy that cannot keep a job or really can't afford for you to ever stay home, why would you have children with that man? Because you might be thinking, oh, but I can earn money too. I am an attorney. I understand your thought process. Once you have children or get pregnant, you will realize pregnancy is so unpredictable. Birth is so unpredictable. Postpartum is so unpredictable. You can have very complicated medical issues that occur during those times. You want to be with someone that can provide during that time. And also, how insane that a man cannot keep a job and provide a decent lifestyle, but you're birthing his children. That is very difficult. And a lot of women are like, but I already love him. And they get in their emotions. And then you might be thinking, oh, but that's not romantic. If all you rely on is romance and emotion for the decision of who you marry, you are being extremely foolish. I do divorce and custody as an attorney, and I can tell you that's a quick way to ruin your life. Just base everything off of romance and feeling. Use logic. Use wisdom. Be honest about the kind of life you think your future children deserve and the lifestyle that you actually want. I'm not saying only marry for lifestyle, also marry for values, someone that you enjoy, but you have to consider lifestyle.
The problem is that they want the guy to provide a lifestyle that they see on the internet. So the guy is able to pay for the birth, they're able to take care of the kids, but the women, they want more. They want more and more and more. Why? Because they go on social media and they see other women getting that. Making $100,000 a year is a good thing. You're able to take care of a lot with that, but they don't want that. They want 500,000, 1 million, 3 million, 10 million. They think that they should get everything that they see other people getting on social media.
If I plan all the dates that me and my man go on, and I plan all the trips, and I plan our future, and I plan everything that we have going on, and all he has to do is hand me some money or hand his car to me, what has he done as a leader? Because in a relationship between a man and a woman, the man is the leader. He is the head. Okay?
Right.
What has he done as a leader to be intentional, to put forth effort, to initiate? What has he done? It sounds more like instead of you being in the passenger seat and him driving, you're driving, he just put the gas in the car.
Gentlemen, this here is exhibit A of why you should never marry or date a slow woman. She just minimized the gas in the car. Like the car can still drive anywhere on that planning list that she put together without gas. She just minimized the finances, the funds, that without it, what she has listed here are only hopes and dreams. This is actually something equivalent to what happens in a lot of relationships. They're just chicks out there who, when they run out of things to complain about, they come up with like this. Beware. Because this is what's going to happen. You're going to get in a relationship with this type of woman if you don't really pay attention and take heed to what I'm saying. And you're going to be trying to explain to her why this sounds stupid. You don't want that, right? You don't want to have slow conversations. Slow down so she can keep up with the logic and say, so let's walk you through this. Do you think a leader has more responsibilities? You say, yeah. So do you think that more responsibility means harder work? Yeah. So is it safe to say that funding the trip is harder than making the list and deciding where we should go and what activities we're going to do when we get there? No, I think that's the hardest. Okay, then you fund the trip. Come on. Slowness. Beware. Don't do it to yourself.
You know, God forbid, modern women get the short end of the stick in any situation, right? Well, you know, you need to keep, I think one woman was talking about, well, you know, you need to keep a roster so that won't ever happen to you. I get what you're saying, but you don't think that maybe this is going to blow up in your face? What do you mean? There's been plenty of women. Well, I got a roster of men. Why is my roster not available? Exactly. Oh, well, he had to go do homework, or he had to go to work, or he's got a football game. No man, the men on my roster are not available to help me. I wonder why. Maybe it's because they are already reading your energy and they already know that you're messing around. That's what modern women don't get. Well, you know, if he does this, you can just move this person over into this slot and you can do it. And your day is, you still just go on about your day. I wouldn't do that. At some point in time, if y'all want men to take the loss, at some point in time, you're going to have to do the same thing. He flaked on you. Okay, well, you know, that's the end of the story. I'm going to go talk to somebody else now. But running a roster and rotation where it's the next man up, I get where you're coming from, but, you know, y'all don't think it's going to happen. But a lot of modern women, even if they were to be respectful about it or think that they're being respectful about it, they're not doing it right. They got a lot of men paying for their stuff and they really not even trying to commit to any of these guys. This roster idea is going to blow up in your face.
Stop thinking that man got 304s lined up somewhere. And you think he just pursuing you to be another 304. He might not. He might not. Just keep that thought. He might not. He might actually like you. He might actually want to be with you. Not every man got a list of 304s just because they look and smell good. Some of them are very reserved. Some of them, let's think about it. I know I'm going to get a lot of messages. No, save it. Save it. Yes, we know the possibilities. But in some of these cases, these men be smelling and looking good for the right one. Not everyone. But I'm just saying, if he pursuing you and he look good, he might not. Just think of the fact, he might not have a line of 304s. You might be the only 304 he looking for. I'm just playing. But you might be the only one that he actually wants. So don't pass him up. That's it.
Ladies, you say you want him to lead, but then you criticize him because he's not leading the way that you want. Okay, let's get into it. A good man is not going to fight you for the wheel. If you keep grabbing it, he's going to step back and he's going to let you drive. But then what happens when you let that happen? The resentment kicks in both of you. You, woman, feel like you have to do everything. And you, man, feel like nothing you do is ever good enough. Now you have two pissed off people living like roommates instead of husband and wife. You, woman, say, I'll soften up when he finally steps up. And you, man, says this, I'll step up when she stops controlling everything. You see that? You see the tit for tat? Nobody moves.
nothing changes and nobody's willing to break the toxic cycle that you keep allowing. So women, get honest with yourselves. Why are you taking over? Why are you saying you want him to lead, but then shutting him down because it's not done your way? If you don't create the space for him to lead, he can't step into it. So stop doing that. And men, my guys, you don't get to sit back and whine, well, she doesn't let me lead. That is a weak excuse. Put your foot down and show her who the boss is. It's not that complicated. This is a two-person game. She has to stop over controlling and actually let him lead. And he has to stop playing small and start leading like a leader. You don't fix this by blaming each other or playing this tit for tat. You fix it by both of you owning your part. Most relationships don't die because the love is gone. They die because of the messed up dynamic that you allow to happen. So do better. Wake up.
Some women can't understand logic when they don't agree. And it's not that they don't understand, they just don't like it.
Ooh, I look fine today. Let me post it for the world to see. Because what are you posting it for? To get that attention. It's as simple as that. There's no other reason to post. Now, I'm going to ask y'all this. If a dude tell y'all, you can post the same stuff you've been posting. Post whatever you want. But make your page private and delete all males off your page that's not family member. How would you feel about a dude saying that? Would you think he tripping or you like, okay, yeah, let's do it?
That's controlling.
So you would think he tripping?
Yes, that's controlling.
Trinity, you would think he tripping?
I would. I'm not gonna.
So
Narcissistic.
Okay, they just said they posting for themselves. They doing it just because it look good. They just said it's not no unloyal aspect to this. But when we take males out of the equation, you the bad guy. But before you take them out of the equation, they just posting for themselves. It can't be for y'all selves, and it can't be just because you feel good, because I'm still saying, babe, post it. Baby, do your thing. Post whatever you want to post, however many times you want to post it. Let's just take the men that might pose a threat to our relationship or trying to get in between what we got going. Let's take them out the picture. Babe, keep doing what you're doing, but let's take them out the picture. Remove the risk. Now I'm tripping. So don't think click in y'all head that, maybe I'm not just doing it just for me. Or maybe I'm not just doing it just because I feel good. Can we agree to that now?
I still can't.
We gotta agree.
They'll swear up and down. They want a strong man. They want a leader. They want a logical man. But when that logic contradicts with their feelings, or until that logic exposes that they're wrong, then suddenly you're negative, you're toxic, you just don't get it. No, we get it. You just don't like to be called out.
This one might get me into a lot of trouble, but if you as a woman think that saying, where are all the good men? Or good men are few and far between, good luck finding one. If you think that will help your cause, as if it brings you closer to finding a good man, it will actually do the exact opposite. Because when a good man hears a woman saying this, it only confirms to him that she is not so unlucky that she's never run across a good man. It's that she doesn't value the good men that she's run across. But here she is, playing victim, which really, really, really annoys him.
Is your wife truly in love with you, or is she in love with the life that you provide her? She is not waking up every day excited for you, is she? No butterflies, no fire in her eyes when you walk through the door, right? She is in love with the life that you have built for her and terrified of watching it disappear. Most wives in long-term marriages, they are not staying because their hearts still race when you come home and walk through the door. They stay because she is protecting what she has. They stay because of the kids. They stay because of social conventions. What will people say? How will it look? She's not choosing you every morning like it's a brand new romance, right? She's choosing this. The paid off house that finally feels like home, the kids thriving in the best schools, the health insurance and the solid retirement accounts, and those annual family vacations that everybody envies. And most of all, listen closely. She is choosing not to lose half of everything and start over from zero. That is not passionate love. That is asset protection. And most long-term marriages are not fueled by love or desired anymore. That is gone. They are kept running on habit and convenience like a well-oiled machine that nobody dares to turn off. She runs the house like a CEO. Calendar locked in, everything picture perfect from the outside, but she has not looked at you with real hunger in her eyes in years, maybe even decades. You guys are elite co-managers at best. Finances are locked down, household running smooth, sure. Family schedule executed like clockwork, thanks to her, okay. But the bedroom is a duty at best, silent at worst, and date nights maybe still happen, polite dinners, safe small talk over some wine, but not the kind where you can't keep your hands off of each other and end up against the wall in whatever room that you stumble into. Everyone admires your stable, successful life from the outside, while the passion quietly is starved to every single day. And here's the brutal reality. She fears losing the lifestyle. You fear the divorce, the sky-high attorney fees, the child support, the alimony, the bloody war over literally every single asset. So neither one of you makes a move. You won't leave. She won't leave. You kiss goodnight, smile for family photos, keep the routine spinning, acting like everything is peachy keen. But what's really holding this marriage together is not love. It is fear. Fear, cold, paralyzing fear is the only glue keeping you guys together. She's still an incredible wife on paper. Sure. Organized, supportive, amazing mom, perfect hostess. Okay. But the spark is gone and the terror of losing everything else outweighs the quiet unhappiness. So you're no longer her dream. You're her safest bet. You can joke with your boys. It's cheaper to keep her. But deep down, you both know the truth. You are hostages in your own home and in your own marriage. So ask yourself this tonight. Is she truly in love with you, or is she just too scared to let go of the life that you provide her? Because there is a big difference between those two.
Good men are hard to find. I totally agree with you. Good men are hard to find because good men aren't looking for you. Good men are hard to find because good men are busy working, climbing corporate ladders, chasing success, building businesses, building themselves and their future. Good men are hard to find because good men don't do nightclubs, strip joints, on dating apps, on Instagram, liking women pictures sliding in their DMs. Good men don't find their women that way. Low value men do. Good men are just like good women. They are very selective in their personal search. They're not turned on by women with big butts, big and who have the intelligence of a rock. Instagram models do not impress them. They have outgrown that phase of their life. Good men don't settle down with women who are not in alignment with their future goals. Good men do not settle with women that they can't grow with and become their best self, because they know selecting the wrong woman, just like selecting the wrong man, can be detrimental to their success and their overall well-being. So yes, I totally agree with you. Good men are hard to find because good men are setting themselves up for a good woman to become a good husband. Be smart, date smart, choose wisely, that nation. And remember, I told you.
Well, I think, kind of going back to the clip Lauren was talking about. Well, whatever Lauren was talking about, essentially, modern women, they'll get upset with a man, but what's going to happen is they're going to like doing it for a little bit, but then they're going to get tired of it. Oh, well, you make me do everything, da 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 da. For a little bit, it's going to feel great because finally I'm in control. I can do everything that I wanted to exactly how I wanted to do it. But like I said, and somebody else has said, modern women, they want to do so much. Women in general, they want to do so much, and they're making, so many micro decisions that they're just going to tire themselves out. And they're going to do the same thing. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of these modern women are going to do the same thing on their job, and they tire themselves out. That's why they're back on here talking about, I'm ready for my husband, or even if they're not talking about I'm ready for my husband, they're talking about, well, I'm tired. Why do we have to work? Yada, yada, yada. So it's going to feel good for a little while, but she's going to get tired of that.